In this section, we're going to begin to learn how to interpret different phrases into algebraic statements, or expressions in this case. So what I did is I first started with a word wall and gave you several different types of words that imply addition: more, sum, increase, plus, total, added, combined, include, all kind of imply addition. A couple of them are setup words. For example, when you say the sum of 5 and 6, sum sets up the word and to be plus. And then similarly, we also have words for subtraction, multiplication, and division. And anytime a word sets up the word and, I try to draw a line to arrow to let you know it set it up. And then there are three words that are a little tricky that in the English language, when you say them, they actually flip the quantities. So for example, if I said 2 less than your age, if you think about 2 less than your age, think about that number in your head really quick. What's 2 less than your age? So let's say you're 17. That would be 15. So even though, let's say your age is 17, in the sentence you did 17 minus 2. And so even though 17 came second in the sentence, you bring it to the front, and 2 came first, it came to second. So in the English language, if you see the words then, from, or to, the quantities on either side are going to kind of be flipped. And that's why I do the arrows around these kind of implying flipped. All right, let's see if we can diagram some of these sentences into expressions. The first one says the sum. All right, sum is a setup word. The sum sets up the word and, so you can see right there that we now know that right there, the and is going to be plus. 3, let me write the plus for the and, an unknown number. So usually when they say an unknown number, that's going to be our x, or a variable, and x is most commonly used. But again, you could have used any variable for that, but I'm going to use x for most of the ones that we do today. All right, the next one says 3 less than an unknown number. So we got to be careful. First of all, note that in this example right here, we have the word then. So then means we're going to have to take the two quantities and flip them around. And so that means the unknown number is going to come first. And 3 is going to come second. And it tells me that I'm going to say less, so it's going to be minus. So really, I think that's part of the less than that goes together. So we're going to have a minus right here for the less than. But because it said then, I got to bring the unknown number to the front, and I have to bring the 3 to the right, or to the back. So do you see how these two got flip-flopped? Because of the word then. So 3 less than an unknown number would be written as x minus 3. The unknown number had to come first. The 3 had to come second because of the word then. All right, let's try the next one. Again, you can pause at any point and try these on your own and then check these. A number doubled, reduced by 5. Okay, so let's start with a number doubled. All right, we don't know what the number is, so it's a variable, but we have to double it. And if you look up here, doubled means times 2. So this would become 2x. And then we have to reduce it, and reduce right there. If you look carefully, reduce, you'll see under subtraction, minus, and then the last statement right there is 5. So as long as there's not a then or from or to, you can pretty much read it left to right. All right, the next one. Again, you can pause and try these on your own if you'd like first. The number of 5 increased by 3 times the number. So I guess we're just saying the number 5. I don't know if of was really appropriate. The number 5. So let's just start with that. Increased. So increased means, right there, increased plus 3 times a number. 3 times an unknown number. So times means multiply. So 3 times an unknown number x. Again, always try to keep your word wall handy when you're doing these problems. The next one, it says the product of 3 and an unknown number diminished by 8. Okay, so first of all, product is the first word that shows up in here, and product is a setup word. If you look carefully right there, product sets up the word and. So this word product right here is going to tell me that and means multiply. And then I'm going to have the 3 here. So 3 times an unknown number, so let's call that x, and then finally that is diminished by 8. I already used green. Diminished by 8. So diminished, if you look carefully up here, I think you'll find diminished is right there under subtraction, so minus 8. So product sets up the word and Then we had to take the product of 3 and an unknown number, that's 3 times x, and then we had to diminish that by 8. All right, the next one says 4 subtracted from a number. There's one of those tricky words, from. Anytime you see those, that means you're going to have to take the two quantities on either side and flip them. So I'm going to need to bring the unknown number to the front, so say x, and then subtracted from basically means minus, and then in the front we have 4. So we basically see this as 4 subtracted from a number. That's exactly what that reads. Anytime you see the word from, you're going to flip-flop the two quantities on either side. All right, and if you look carefully at the top, quotient is a setup word. Quotient sets up the word and. Right there, there's the and, and it means division. We're going to start with a number tripled. And if you look carefully up there at the top, when it says tripled, tripled says times 3. So an unknown number tripled would be 3x. And then we're going to divide that by, we could either draw a line over, we could draw it two ways. We could draw it like the old sign division, and then just bring down the 6. Or we could also say the same thing would be to write 3x divided by 6, which that could be reduced to x over 2, but I'll write it just as it stated since that's what we're doing here. We're trying to write these statements. All right, this is the first time we've come across one that's a little trickier. It says 3 times the sum of a number and 4. All right, anytime you use your setup words, like sum is a setup word we came across earlier, it also usually implies that there are parentheses around the sum part. So I can actually do parentheses around what I'm going to take the sum of. So I'm going to take the sum of a number and 4. So you can see right there where I got the sum of a number and 4. So anytime you use the setup word, it's kind of usually understood to be in parentheses. And then I'm supposed to do 3 times that. So this one I had to read a little bit backwards because I had to take 3 times the entire sum. So this would be the first one that's a little trickier because we had to put the parentheses around it. 3 times the entire sum of x plus 4. 3 times the sum of a number and 4. That's really written the same thing. All right, here we go again with one of those tricky words. It's got the word from. So anytime you see the words from, then, or to, you got to kind of be on the lookout for those. It means the two quantities on either side need to be, let me make that arrow just a little bit bigger, need to be flipped. Okay, so first I need to bring twice a number to the front. Twice a number, that's 2 times an unknown number, so that would be 2x minus 10. So the word from kind of flipped it, and twice the number was 2x and 10. So 2x minus 10 is 10 subtracted from twice the number. That's exactly what happened right there. All right, twice the difference of 7 and a number. A difference is a setup word. If you look carefully, its difference means and. It sets up the word and. And remember how we said in the previous example, usually that's implied parentheses. All right, so if I do parentheses, and I know difference means subtract, so I'll take the number 7 minus a number. Now notice I didn't flip these. You only flip it if you have the words from, to, or then, and we didn't have that, so it goes left to right, just like it reads in the sentence. In front of that difference, I have the word twice. So if you look at the top, twice means 2 times, so we'd have to do 2 times right there for that. So it's just kind of learning the language until you get enough practice with these. All right, let me stop here for page 1, and then we'll start page 2 in just a second.